Dodgers fans, you need to stop what you're doing right now because we've got some significant roster moves to break down that could have real implications for how this team looks heading into the season. Now, I know the headline might have gotten you excited, but let me be completely straight with you about what actually happened here because these moves matter even if they're not the blockbuster signings some fans might be hoping for. Before we dive deep into all the details, if you're invested in staying on top of every Dodgers transaction and roster decision this offseason, make sure you're subscribed because we're covering everything as it happens. Let's get into exactly what the front office has been doing over the past couple of days. The Los Angeles Dodgers signed free agent left-handed pitcher Antoine Kelly to a minor league contract. Now, this isn't the type of signing that makes you want to go buy a jersey or start doing cartwheels down Vin Scully Avenue, but a transaction is still a transaction, and these depth moves matter more than people realize. Kelly is 25 years old and pitched last season for AAA Albuquerque and the Colorado Rockies organization within the Pacific Coast League. He posted a 5.63 ERA, which obviously isn't great, but this is exactly the kind of depth piece the Dodgers love to acquire and see if their development staff can unlock something. This isn't one of those moves that's going to dominate headlines or trend on social media, but I always like to mention these guys during the offseason because when you suddenly hear their names during the regular season, you won't be completely caught off guard wondering who they are. Another move the Dodgers made recently was adding pitcher Ronnie Kopp to their 40-man roster, and this happened right before the Rule 5 protection deadline on Tuesday. They had 2 openings on the 40-man roster, so they didn't need to make any corresponding moves to create space. For Ronnie Kopp, he's always shown tremendous potential, but the results have been maddeningly inconsistent. There's good Kopp and there's bad Kopp, and you really never know which version you're getting on any given day. The good Kopp is the one who dominates hitters with a 36% strikeout rate, which is legitimately elite. The bad Kopp is the one who walks 17% of batters he faces, which is absolutely unsustainable at the major league level. Last season, he posted a 3.43 ERA across 57 and 2/3 innings for AAA Oklahoma City. He's only 23 years old and has genuinely plus stuff when everything is working. He can absolutely dominate hitters with his strikeout ability, and as a left-handed pitcher, with his arsenal, both right-handed and left-handed batters have struggled to get hits off him. But the problem is, he also gave up a .350 on-base percentage because so many hitters just sit at the plate patiently waiting to draw that walk, and he obliges them far too often. And that's the move they made, and it really says a lot about how the Dodgers view pitching depth and organizational philosophy. You're not ruining baseball by working the margins and developing talent the way they consistently do. When you look at the depth of this pitching staff, you've got Alex Vezia, Tanner Scott, Justin Wrobleski, Jack Dreyer, and Anthony Banda as other left-handed relievers already on the 40-man roster. Kopp is genuinely interesting, though, because if you can get the good version consistently and not the bad version that walks everybody, he's someone who could potentially help this team in multiple different ways if you suffer an injury or you're just looking for some high upside talent to develop. Dave Anderson, who's the pitching coach for AAA Oklahoma City, appeared on Casey Porter's show Dodgers Daily and broke down the specific improvements Ronnie Kopp made last season and what the organization has been working on with him. Anderson explained that Kopp has a true plus-plus slider that's effective against both left-handed and right-handed hitters. Some of the things Kopp has bought into and really understands now involve the angle he creates out of his hand, which is essentially the opposite of a low-slot arm angle. He's leveraging a high release point at about 6'5" that looks like it's coming from the clouds. They essentially scrapped the idea of killing vertical movement with the slider and instead leaned into powering it downhill because the angle out of his hand naturally creates visual depth for hitters. That allows him to throw that pitch in the 91 to 93 mile per hour range with serious bite. Anderson mentioned it actually cracks him up because the stadium scoreboards sometimes tag it as a fastball because of the velocity. Kopp has gotten to the point where he can feel when he gets too far around the baseball, which creates more side spin and horizontal sweep rather than that devastating downward action. When he's right mechanically, he's either throwing strikes to the knees or missing below the zone, which eliminates the glove side pull and arm side miss because he's just focused on that downhill angle. That allows him to play the north-south game with his fastball really effectively. Anderson also discussed Kopp's modified pickoff move that's essentially a knee-to-knee motion rather than a traditional slide step. Once he hits that position, it's just go, and the key has been figuring out how much counter rotation to preset so he's already in the positions he needs to reach. From the stretch with a big leg kick, he has time to get his mechanics right, but from the modified position, it's just up and go, which simplifies everything mentally and eliminates overthinking his delivery. It's just up, down, forward, and keep it simple. I absolutely love hearing that kind of detailed breakdown because it exemplifies how exceptional the Dodgers organization is at the minor league level with their coaching and player development. What Anderson is really saying is they're trying to simplify the game for Kopp so he can just go out there and focus on getting hitters out and being his best self without getting caught up in mechanical complications. That has always been the fundamental issue with minor league pitchers who never make it at the big league level. You absolutely have to be able to throw strikes consistently. If you want to be a successful major league pitcher, you have to have command. Those same issues have plagued Antoine Kelly as well, which is why he's only getting a minor league deal despite once being a highly regarded prospect. Kelly was actually in the Futures game a couple years ago back in 2022. He had a genuinely impressive season in 2023 with the Rangers in their AA and AAA bullpens, posting a 2.04 ERA across 57 and a third innings with a 32.1% strikeout rate and only a 9.3% walk rate. The trajectory looked promising, and he seemed like a legitimate prospect on the rise, but then he missed significant time with a forearm injury that really derailed everything. There's some interesting potential there if the Dodgers can tap into it. He's shown high highs, but also some extremely low lows throughout his minor league career. The Rockies outrighted him late in the season in August when he was really starting to struggle badly. Colorado had claimed him off waivers from the Rangers back in July, and he was originally a former second-round pick who went from Milwaukee to Texas in the Matt Bush trade back in 2022 after having that strong 2023 season. Then you saw the performance completely crater. He missed time with that forearm injury. The control evaporated, and he posted a 10.98 ERA in 19 and two-thirds innings between AA and AAA, with the strikeout rate plummeting as well. At his absolute worst, his walk rate of 25.4% was actually higher than his strikeout rate of 23.7%, and he was also hitting batters at an alarming rate. So it's an interesting reclamation project to take on, and that's exactly where the Dodgers are positioned right now, trying to improve this roster any way they possibly can at every level of the organization. I'm seeing some really interesting comments about potential trade targets and free agents. People are mentioning names like Jarren Duran as a possible trade target, Kyle Tucker, Munetaka Murakami in free agency. Don't worry, we're going to get to all the trade speculation and free agent possibilities in future content. We've got some organizational housekeeping to cover first. Another thing worth discussing is the absolute need for the Dodgers to revamp this bullpen this offseason. That is 100% something they need to prioritize, and it's evidenced by the fact that they've already been linked to high-profile relievers like Edwin Diaz and Devin Williams. I'm also sure they're going to consider signing some one-year veteran guys and finding the Ryan Brazier types, or maybe even bringing back Chris Martin if he's available. You need to bring in guys you genuinely believe are going to give you their best seasons, because bullpens are volatile and unpredictable by nature. There are so many one-hit wonders and guys who fall off cliffs from one year to the next. So you get guys you can trust, but you also spend money on some legitimate high-end pieces as well. Just going back to Tyler Guff, who the Dodgers traded for a couple days ago. Los Angeles acquired minor league right-handed pitcher Tyler Guff from the Seattle Mariners in exchange for right-handed pitcher Robinson Ortiz. Guff went 7-4 with a 4.33 ERA in 23 starts for Loe Modesto in 2024. He didn't pitch last year because of Tommy John surgery, but across 2 seasons with Modesto, he posted a 4.66 ERA and racked up 123 strikeouts in 125 and a third innings. He's 6'2", was selected by the Mariners in the 9th round of the 2022 draft, and he's a SoCal kid from San Juan Capistrano. These are the kind of under-the-radar moves the Dodgers consistently make that sometimes turn into genuine contributors down the road. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think about these roster moves and the direction the front office is taking? Are these the kind of depth additions we need, or do you want to see more aggressive upgrades this offseason? Let me know your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any Dodgers news as this winter progresses.